I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. The historic events over over the weekend. And on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But look, it's, and I think, look, it's, at some level as an American, it's like hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit and that fight. And I think that's why a lot of people like the guy.
And they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy. What did I do against democracy? Crazy.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about some reactions to Trump being shot last week, as you have some unlikely characters coming out in the woodwork and recognizing that Trump was in fact shot and that it was a badass moment. Like, for example, that is what Mark Zuckerberg said. You guys saw that at the beginning of the video. And Mark Zuckerberg, I do not think is a fan of Trump at all, considering how his platform, Facebook, has been weaponized against Trump, and Instagram as well, too, in order to try to affect the outcome of the election. So clearly this guy is not a Trump fan. So for him to come out here and to say that, hey, that was a badass moment, right? I think really says a lot about what the moment was and how iconic the moment was, okay? And we got to talk about another character who I also don't believe is necessarily a Trump fan, even though I do think there are some parts of the Trump agenda that he likes, which is Mr. Tariq Nasheed, who is the leader of the so-called FBAs, right? On his live stream, he is going to react to what happened to Trump. And I think this is important because people like him and his reaction, I think, is probably going to be representative of how a lot of people are seeing this that are not extremely Trump deranged, like actual normal people who may not necessarily like Trump per se, or they might not be voting for Trump, but they're like, I'm open to it, right? I'm not scared of voting for Trump because the liberal media says, oh, I can't vote for Trump, okay? Because, again, you have a lot of people out here that are essentially pushing conspiracies about what happened with Trump's ears. Some people going as far as to say that it was staged, and some people saying that he didn't really get shot. MSNBC, they're obsessed with this. The liberal media, they're obsessed with it.
We still don't know for sure whether Donald Trump was hit by a bullet, whether he was hit by glass fragments, whether he was hit by shrapnel. We don't have those details. We actually have no details from his physician, even though this man is still a Secret Service protected, and presidential candidate. We knew almost nothing. Why?
It hasn't really rated gangbusters at all, and there is the sense that Donald Trump is trying to juice the ratings by trying to be there in person every night with his ostentatious, bandage on his ear, which is being repeated by people in the audience. And they played things like, his favorite YMCA has been one of the songs they love to play. But they also played yesterday when he walked on his walk-on song. It's a man's world.
It's a man's world. And
the media, Maria, doesn't really trust the injury. They think Trump might be making this up. Here is MSNBC talking about, I guess, what we're calling Eargate. Listen.
And yet we've not received a medical report from the hospital, nor have we received a medical report from the campaign or from the Trump organization about the extent of the damage to his ear. If he was shot by a high caliber bullet, there should probably be very little ear there. And so we'd like to know that. Is there cosmetic surgery involved? What is the prognosis for recovery? Were there stitches? What is the extent and nature of the damage to his ear? So there are a lot of questions around that ear. And yet there's been no response to that. Instead, just showing the image of the man coming into the hall with the wounded ear.
So MSNBC wants to see Trump's medical records, but not Biden's.
That is just incredible. Look, Jesse, I think that the media is so tangled up with this narrative that they've been driving since he came down the escalator in 2015. They can't get out of themselves. They can't get out of this entanglement. And the momentum here and the momentum for the Republicans beginning here and really as we've seen the unity get stronger and stronger is overwhelming them. They don't know how to deal with it, and they don't want to get away from this narrative of hating Donald Trump so much.
Yeah, so hatred for Trump, right? I think that's kind of the key that is driving a lot of the delusions and the conspiracies around Trump's ear from the mainstream liberal media and the left. But again, I think that it's fascinating to listen to people like Tariq Nasheed talk about this because, again, I'm not a fan of Tariq Nasheed and some of the racial division that he pushes, but I got to give a guy credit where credit is due when he comes out with a pretty solid take, pushing back against some of these loonies that are basically saying that it was staged or that Trump didn't really get shot. Regardless of what you think, it was a pretty badass moment, so to speak, and I think this is a pretty interesting clip here.
Ear bleeding. Trump ate that. Trump solidified his position back in the He's going back in the White House. That wasn't staged. Some of the Biden fans, I hate y'all trying to come up with all of these coping mechanisms. That thing popped him in the ear. Dude, and didn't assassinate him. He didn't die. Boy, do y'all understand what that has done? That has created an almost divine intervention around Trump now. So that's going to really, really galvanize his base.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, I do think it was divine intervention, right? I mean, I'm still shocked, right? I'm still in shock, literally, from what happened and how close Trump was to being killed, to not being here, right? So I personally believe, considering all the things that Trump has survived, right? Look where we were at the beginning of this year, guys. We were looking at Trump being taken off the ballot. We were looking at him potentially being in jail. I mean, you had 3 or 4 major legal obstacles that could have stopped Trump from being the candidate. None of these things have worked, right? The one conviction that Democrats got is the conviction that nobody cares about. And it looks like we probably won't even see a sentencing on that before the election. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But all of the things that have happened since January 6th have not necessarily been in Trump's favor, but going into the 2024 election, things are massively in his favor. And I don't have an explanation for that outside of divine intervention because it's just so unlikely, right? Not one thing that the Democrats have thrown against Trump has worked. So yeah, it does create a divine aura around Trump in the sense that it's almost as if this is meant to be, right? What is happening for a reason, okay? And that momentum certainly is going to help Trump in the election for certain.
Also, the fact that they're trying to take him out is further solidifying his base because they didn't try to put them charges on him. That didn't really slow him down. Somebody tried to assassinate him. So it looks like some people are desperate to get him out of the White House. It looks very desperate. It looks extremely desperate, which is going to make more people galvanize to support him. Y'all, you can say it's staged if you want to. Him getting back in the White House in November ain't gonna be staged. You can say that and cope all you want to. Let me tell you something. That Trump took that bullet and up there giving the fist. He was using some of the Black Power fists up here, giving up the fist, fight, raising his fist and all of that. Trump he took that shot like Tony Montana in Scarface. He took that shot like Tony Montana in Scarface.
And even if he didn't get shot, right? Let's say he wasn't actually shot, which is what the mainstream liberal media is pushing out there. The fact that he was being shot at, and as he's being shot at, I don't think he knew that the shot stopped, right? As he's being shot at, potentially under attack, the dude raises his fist up to the crowd to let them know, I'm still alive. I'm still here. I'm going to keep fighting. Again, you can't deny the iconic moment that was. You can't even, again, look at this guy. This guy treating shit. I don't think he's the biggest fan of Trump or conservatives, even though I would argue, if you actually listen to people like him talk, his commentary, he tends to lean a lot more conservative outside of some of the racial issues, right? The reparations thing is his big thing. So because of that, I don't think it will ever work out between these types of people in the Republican Party. But regardless, if you take that out of it, right, you can't deny what it was, what you saw, right? You don't have to be a fan of Trump. You don't have to like Trump. You don't have to vote for Trump to understand what happened to him and how he reacted in that moment, the type of leadership that it shows. And when people say, well, why are black men galvanized by Trump, or why are they moving towards Trump? It's because of moments like that. It's not just because, he, got shot or whatever. No, it's because of the way he reacted to it. Okay. In fact, I had a family member tell me yesterday, actually, he said that, yeah, all the people in the hood, right? All the N-words in the hood. That's what he actually said, right? He said, yeah, they all are supporting Trump now because they're like, yo, Trump took a bullet and he did not like a bitch. Like, that's quite literally what he told me, word for word, right? He said, because Trump did not like a bitch. Again, that's just what he said. But again, because the way Trump responded, that gave Trump a lot of street cred, so to speak, right? People know, okay, this guy's a real one, right? He's a real N-word, right? More specifically. So, this is why you have so many people that are so deranged, specifically these pro-blackity blacks in the media, right? The pro-black liberals, so to speak. This is why they're so pissed off, because they know that real N-words, right, respect the way that Trump reacted to being shot at, right, to being shot. I'm just saying, right, this is what it is, okay? This is what it is.
Dude, y'all stop. You can play with your mama. Don't play with me, dude. I'm telling you what's going down. I'm telling you what the optics look like. That wasn't no damn staged. Man, Trump is getting back in the White House with that, dude. Juxtapose that to Biden. Biden up here moping around, can't talk worth a damn, falling every time he get up. He falling. Come get me, Kamala. Oh, God. He falling around. He can't talk. He's moping around. He's going to sleep. He's just all robotic. Trump got shot in the damn ear and ate it. Fight! Look at the optics of that. Look at the optics. Y'all sit up and act dumb in this chat room. It's staged. It ain't staged. It ain't staged. Y'all can say that if you want to. You making yourself feel better.
That is what
because y'all know that juxtapose that to Trump getting popped in the ear and eating it, as opposed to Biden. If Biden got a shot with a needle, he would die. Biden get a vaccine shot, he gonna fall out. Yeah. So that's making Donald Trump look like Teflon Don, man. It's showing strength. The optics of it. Oh, stop it. Nobody ear bleeds like that. You are not a medical person. Let's stop, brother. Stop that. Don't nobody ear bleed. It's always these Negroes trying to act like medical experts. Hold on now. Wait a minute. Based on my studies, if you get shots in the ear is going to perforate a little backwards. It's going to bleed to the trajectory of the bullet. It's not going to bleed that way. It's going to go behind the ear. And then there's going to be a purple substance that oozes out of the side, based on my expertise. You work at Amazon. All right? You're not a medical expert. You are an Amazon worker. You box up packages. Stop playing. Y'all sitting up. These are left-wingers. I'm looking at the left-wingers in here. We can tell the Democratic shills in here. The Democratic shills have just been having a hissy fit. The Democratic shills are having a damn hissy fit. They've been all in our comment sections, mad, copping pleas, trying to shame people. Y'all sound like MAGA. That's not a shaming tactic. I'm just telling you what the optics are.
Yeah, and this is what they hate the most, right? The optics. Okay, this is what they really hate. But you know, seeing the reaction of people like a Mark Zuckerberg or a Tariq Nasheed, you know, and other people as well too. If you are a man, of course you have to respect it, right? You have to respect it as a man to see another man get shot and to get up the way that he did. And I think this is why the male vote for Trump, I think, is going to be historic. Like, because I don't think there's a man out there that saw what happened to Trump and didn't immediately respect the reaction to it. Now, some people may say it wasn't smart, right? He should have, you know, stayed covered. He should not have done that because he could have been shot again. But regardless, I think people kind of just respect the fight, right? They respect the leadership because a lot of people in that situation would not have acted that way. They would have been scaring around, right? They would have been panicking. They would have been losing their minds, right? And in fact, the vast majority of the people there didn't really panic. And that's why a lot of people think it's a conspiracy, is that, well, so many people didn't panic. Well, you got to understand. I mean, a lot of those people are, you know, conservative, right? And, you know, it seems as if conservatives are built differently, right? In situations like that. And I think that is what, you know, a lot of people can respect about that situation is the fact that, you know, Trump got up and he continued to fight. And when you see people who aren't necessarily fans of you come out and say, hey, I respect that, it really tells you a lot about the moment. And again, this is why the mainstream liberal media is going so far to try to diminish the moment for what it is, because they know that most likely that moment is what won Trump the 2024 election. So, hey, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.